Alright everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to try something really fun. It's either going to go really great or it's going to go horribly bad as far as me getting the video out there. I'm sure the drive will go fine. We are going to go head into Manhattan. So we're in Rockland County now and we're going to go to Manhattan. Let's see if we can get there without any interventions at all. So let's start the self-driving and see how we do. Once again, we're 14.2.1 on the software. Fold the mirrors. Shut the garage. Let's see how this goes. Getting out of the driveway isn't the easiest thing for this thing. Yesterday it ran up on the curb. Alright, here we go, we're off. Let's see how we do. Right now we're in Mad Max mode. Probably when we get on the highway, we will switch over to most likely standard mode. Maybe somewhere between standard and hurry, depending on what goes on with the speed. The profiles are a little bit different since I've last been on the highway, so I guess I'll have to kind of just see how it goes. I did notice in my last video that it is very noisy with the iPhone setup, especially not having any microphones, and the camera is kind of wobbly. So we might have to invest in some more equipment. A microphone maybe at the very least. But we'll see. Nice cold day in New York right now, 27 degrees. It's probably colder. It feels really cold. But at least it's sunny. Gotta take the positives in life. We'll go with the sunshine. Just pretend it's warm in my mind. Filming this on a Friday. So it's not too late in the day, or I should say not too early in the day to drive into the city. It's about 10:30, so the traffic shouldn't be too bad. That is one thing about commuting into the city every now and then. You do hit a lot of traffic. Usually on my ride and I listen to music or I talk on the phone, but this will be a ride just me sitting here talking to myself, talking to you guys, sitting silent. It's going to be very interesting. The idea of sitting in a car by yourself and talking to yourself is something I'm not comfortable with yet. I don't know if it gets any easier, but it's definitely bizarre. The good thing is most people who see me probably just assume I'm on the phone, not a crazy person talking to themselves. Like I said, this has been easily the best build. Really no problems at all. No stag braking or jerky braking or whatever people call it. I actually ran into a situation yesterday with leaves. It did fine. Too bad I wasn't videoing then. But so it seems like they've got pretty much all of the kinks worked out from when they first released version 14. So I'm excited to see how it handles the city being around people. We'll definitely go in Mad Max mode once we're in the city. We're going to go into a parking lot when we get there, so we'll go up to the garage, so we'll go there, so we'll see if we can pull into the garage. What I've noticed with parking garages is sometimes it goes in or tries to go in through the wrong entrance. It'll try to go in through the exit. So that's got to be improved a little bit. I actually think what I might do is once we get on the highway, I will turn the camera off and then come back on once we get towards the bridge. I can't see anyone wanting to watch an hour-long video of me sitting here talking to myself while the car drives. So what we'll do is we'll drive a little bit on the highway, we'll show the merge, we'll shut the camera off for a little bit, and then we will pick it back up when we get close to the bridge and into the city. This is a great time of year. This is my favorite time of year. Thanksgiving into New Year's. It's great. Love seeing all the Christmas decorations. After New Year's, it's a little bit of a rough patch until you get into the spring. Especially after the Super Bowl. Then you really have not much to do at all. Guess you can watch a little bit of basketball, but I don't know. Not the same. But looking forward to the weekend. Did get some great news last night. My daughter wound up making her middle school basketball team, so that was exciting. I was very nervous about that one. And I'm very proud of her for really just trying out, putting in the effort, and then ultimately making the team. Not sure how many of you are parents who are watching this video, but you know how the saying goes, you're only as happy as your least happy kid, and if she did not make the team, this would not be a happy day. So we are super excited in our house. Who knows what's rattling around in the back there. These kids leave so much junk in the back of the car. Probably have baseballs, water bottles, God knows. So far, car's doing a good job. It's holding around 40 miles per hour. Like I said in my previous video, version 14.1.4, Mad Max is probably doing closer to 50. But they've really toned down the speed profiles in this latest build. Probably for the best. We're going to be taking the Palisades Interstate Parkway, PIP. Can I hit you guys up with a corny dad joke? Why is it that you drive on a parkway and park on a driveway? That is a pretty bad joke, right? So far since this build, I've been using full self-driving for about 96% of my driving. I'm trying to convince my wife to let me take the car to Florida over the Christmas holiday and not use her car, but she thinks it'll tack on way too many extra hours into our trip, which it may, but I'm just excited to try and do it. And it would be super relaxing as far as just sitting here. Alright, well, we're going to merge on now. Does a great job with the merge. Nothing difficult or anything. We'll switch the profile to standard. The standard should keep us around. Speed limit's 55. Standard's keeping us around 60 right now. I'm not in a super rush, so that's fine. Alright, well, let me shut this camera off. We'll pick it up when we get closer to the bridge. Hopefully I remember to turn the camera back on. Alright, so we're back. I'm switching the profile to hurry. Hurry's taking me about 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. So 10 miles per hour over the speed limit is pretty good. There are a lot of cops on this road, so definitely don't want to be getting any ticket. I haven't tried Mad Max on this road, but really there's no need to, but one day I'll give it a go. We should be getting up to the George Washington Bridge toll area, merge onto the bridge pretty soon. So I figure this is a good time to turn the camera back on, let you guys see some more highway driving before we get there. For those of you who don't know, I am driving a 2023 Model Y long range, and it's a great car. Lease goes back on July, somewhere in the middle of July. The lease is done on this, so we'll look to swap into a new one possibly, like the one we see right over here next to me. I really do love the body style of the new one. I'm always stuck between whether it's better for me to lease or to buy. I do put on a ton of miles, so I'm constantly going over the mileage. I find myself buying additional miles. Tesla lets you buy additional miles. I don't know if it's smart to buy the additional miles or if Tesla will forgive all the miles if you get another Tesla. I'm not sure if Tesla operates like a regular car company. And then if I buy one, then I feel like A, these cars don't hold their value too well. B, the technology is always changing, and my car will become out of date and obsolete relatively soon. So you're kind of stuck because you own the car, then when you go to sell it, you're really not going to get great money for it, especially if Tesla comes out with a new model. But you spend a lot of money leasing it, especially if you put the amount of miles on the car that I do. So if anyone has any thoughts on leasing versus buying, feel free to put those in the comments. I know that people have different views on that. I'm not married to either one, really. As expected, so far the ride on the highway's been uneventful. We haven't had to have any interventions, no close calls. Not even anyone getting pulled over by the cops. So just pretty easy ride. We're only going 61. Earlier we were going 65, 66. Before they changed up these profiles, when we were using version 14.1.4, standard mode would usually get me 62, and then hurry mode would get me 75, which was too fast. I didn't need to go 20 miles per hour over the speed limit, especially not on this road. So I'm okay with this going 8 miles per hour over 7, 10, whatever it is. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm never really a fast driver anyway. I'd rather not get a ticket, get there a little bit later, not get points on my license, not have to pay a fine. I do have to drive into the city pretty regularly. That's one of the negatives of living where I live. There's no really good mass transit. So I find myself driving a lot. That's why I put in a lot of miles. The new Model Ys are a lot more quiet. You do hear some noise in this car. A lot of wind resistance, which I'm sure you're picking up perfectly due to my archaic filming setup. Someone's got the electric Mercedes right in front of us. It's a nice car. Some of these other electric car companies make really nice cars, just they don't sell well. But I'm hooked on electric. I'm going to stay with electric. Who wants to be outside pumping gas, especially in this weather? So now we're really slowing down early for this merge. We usually never slow down this early for this merge. But it's slowing down pretty early, which is nice. They've actually paved this road since I've last been here. Wow, looks nice. Alright, this is how you get onto the bridge. Previous builds, the car was driving the shoulder over there, thinking it was a lane. So far really good at recognizing that that's not a lane and just staying in the lane that it's allowed to go in. And luckily there's no traffic. That's why it's always better to wait a little if you can before you go into the city. You really got to go in really early or really, like after the rush hour. We'll do a nice merge here. And they got this right lane closed. It says we should be at our destination in 18 minutes. And it's only 7.8 miles. So really get that far that quickly when you're driving through Manhattan. But doing a good job slowing down. The car ahead of me stopping. Just giving a lot of room, which alleviates a lot of the nervousness that people have using full self-driving. You really want the car to just act the way you'll act and do what you would do. So you have that comfort level. So I like to see brake lights. I like to know the car slowing down when there's brake lights, which for the most part now it is doing. They've been working on this bridge for at least 10 years, maybe longer. Right here they're redoing the bike path on this side. They redid the bike path on the other side, and it's really nice. I used to do a lot of road biking until I got hit by a car. Then the wife said no more biking, so I said, all right, you know what, maybe no more biking. But I did bike over this bridge, I want to say 2 or 3 times, and it's a really long ride, especially from where I live. And here they got more construction, but the car does a great job, handles the merge perfectly, sees that the lane's closed, going a good safe speed. You know, it's got to go over to the left because the navigation wants us to get over the left. Every now and then we'll have some navigation issues, and it'll try to go on the north side, which is wrong, and I'll have to intervene and take over. And they will drive me through a pothole over here at some point. So I can't seem to avoid that. That's one thing that would be great if this thing could recognize potholes a little better. One of the first times I got full self-driving, there it was, we just hit the edge of it. I got full self-driving as a free trial. So I took the full self-driving. This had to probably be around version 11 maybe, 12. Whenever they were giving out a free trial. And the thing drove me into a pothole and bent 2 of my rims. So the free driving wound up costing me like $2,000. And now we're going to merge onto the West Side Highway here. Hurry mode, we're going pretty slow, but we got to do the merge, and we'll see how the speed profiles are on this road, and then we can adjust from hurry to man max if we need to. But once we get off this road, we'll definitely get into man max mode. Unfortunately, I have to go in today below 61st Street, so I'm going to pay congested parking, which is like the most ridiculous nonsense ever. Got to thank the governor for that one. Usually I try to stay above 61st Street, park somewhere there, so that I can avoid paying an additional $9 every time I come into the city. I'm not a fan of congested pricing as a commuter. Maybe people that live in the city are a fan. Maybe the traffic is less. I think if the city needs more money, enforce the subway rules and ticket people when they hop the turnstile. It's doing a great job right now. The speed is good, distance between cars is good. Really great that there's no traffic. This ride with traffic can take 2 hours sometimes. We'll probably get in about an hour or so, maybe like an hour and 10. I wonder if most of the people who watch these type of channels, these full self-driving channels, are Tesla owners or people that don't even have electric cars. I really enjoy watching these full self-driving channels. That's what inspired me to do this channel. And I do have a Tesla. But I think full self-driving is definitely what's going to separate Tesla from any other electric car company. I can't see any other electric car, even with their full self-driving technology, being better than this. Like Cruise, like GM uses Cruise. I have a friend who has that in his car, and it's great on the highways, but obviously it doesn't do anything else. I think Ford gave up on whatever they were using. And I think ultimately what's going to happen is some of these other car companies are going to have to buy this Tesla technology. And Tesla's going to be able to put FSD into other cars, put their camera systems and their vision-based full self-driving in other cars. And they've got millions and millions and millions of miles of data. Far superior than anyone else out there. It will be interesting if we ever get to full autonomy. I think they say that's level 4. I mean, obviously the thing has to be beyond perfect. You can't have a fully autonomous car. And you know what's going to happen, God forbid, the first accident that happens, whether it's, you know, the car's fault or if it's another driver's fault, because, you know, another driver can just smash into the car. It's no fault of the car. But I wonder, you know, I've got a few years before my kids need to drive. I wonder if they're gonna, well, they will drive, obviously, but will people be needing to drive further in the future? Or will everyone just be able to go fully autonomous? Where will we be in 20 years? This would be great taking this to Florida, so hopefully we do that. We'll most likely not video any of that. I will have screaming kids in the back, probably fighting, getting food all over the back seat, which will drive me crazy. So we're going to get off at this 56th Street exit here, switch over to Mad Max mode, and see how this thing does. Hopefully we have some interactions with some people, and the car handles it well. 14.1.4 was awful in the city. It was a step back from 13.2.9. Job slowing down in advance. And I wish I had video footage to show you how this thing worked in 13.2.9. It was scary. Let's pop into Mad Max mode right here. Let's see how we do. See my autopilot stats right now. 97%. So since I've gotten this version 14.2, I've done 456.9 miles. 441 of them have been in full self-driving. The person next to me is honking like the person in front of him doesn't want to go. People are so stupid. All right, we made the light. Let's go. Let's see how we do now. This is where the fun begins. Mad Max mode in the city. Let's see. Also want to see if the car knows not to put me in a left turning lane. And if it sees that a turning lane's coming up, will get me to the right side of the road so I don't get stuck in traffic with someone trying to make a left turn. The car needs to recognize certain situations in city driving. Driving New York City is like driving nowhere else. You really do have to be aggressive. You have to know what lane to be in. You have to look ahead to know that people are double parked. Know to get around them. So a lot of times the car is not aggressive enough and it lets too many people go in and cut you off. And you really don't want to allow that while you're driving in the city. So far, so good. Very smooth. Let's see what it does with this truck backing out here. I don't know, it's a good job. And it's doing a great job. It actually passed the truck. It handled that perfectly. Wow. There's no way 14.1.4 would have handled it like that. I had a little hesitation with that guy, but not bad at all. A little bit of a hesitation there. But that's fine. Ideally, it would be great if it slowed down a little bit less abruptly, but it wasn't bad at all. So far, still doing a great job. Got someone on the left on a bike. Person stopped. Car didn't flinch at all. Good job going around this FedEx truck over here. Really, really impressive so far. Exponentially better than 14.1.4. We are going pretty close to these cars on the right side, but I see in the side mirror not terrible. Not worried about these people. Previous version, you see people about to look like they're going to walk in the crosswalk. Even if they don't have the light, the car would just abruptly just stop, start jerking, just stop. And this is really, really good. We might eventually have to do a full city drive through for you guys. Just drive around the city and see how it does. This is going to be a quick, drive through the city. Most of which was just stuck at a light trying to get in here. Next step is just to see if it turns into the right entrance of this garage we're going to park in. And if it does, that would be a home run. There would be not one intervention. We would make it here with not one intervention if that's the case, into the garage. That would be unbelievable. See what it does here as far as blocking the box. Does it go or does it wait? It's going to let these guys go, which I'm fine with actually, because you don't want to get stuck in the middle of the intersection anyway. So it looks like it's going to wait until you can get out of the intersection. Normally I probably would drive myself and then push to the left or the right, but I'm not going to do it here. But people are probably going to start honking at me. But we'll just wait till the next light. A lot of times what I would do if I was driving is I would just cross anyway. I'd get to the right or the left and then I'd follow behind that car. It would be nice to see the car doing that eventually. I mean, that would be super aggressive if the car did do that. But that is the right move, really. I just didn't want to intervene and give it gas. Or give it electric. Whatever you give it when you step on the pedal. I guess you really can't call it giving it gas anymore. Looking up ahead, I can't tell if this truck here, well, it looks like they're going to move, if they were blocking the garage entrance, because that would be really bad. All right, here we go. Green light, perfect. This guy to the right here, no issues. And we should go into the second entrance here, not this one here. It should turn into the next one. No, it's going to turn into this one. All right, we're going to have to turn it off, and we'll drive the rest of the way in, but almost 100% right. Almost did perfectly. So we're here. We're going to pull down. And, all right. Thanks for joining me for this ride. It's been fun. Catch you next time.